Did you hear the news? Yeah, it's Troy Kearns, real estate investor, bringing it to you hot and fresh. And this is the news I'm about ready to break down to you that you need to know about if you are investing in real estate, if you are thinking about investing in real estate, and if you are a naturalized citizen, if you are an American citizen, you need to be paying attention to this video. And it's not a political video. This is a video that affects any real estate investors, and you need to be aware of what is going on with your personal property rights. And we're going to get into some big time details. So make sure you watch this video in its entirety to the very end. And the reason you need to know about all of these laws is because they are going to affect the economy in the future and now. And there's actually landlords who are suing Joe Biden, and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention is basically being sued because they're overstepping their bounds, right? I'm gonna get into everything, and my hope with this video is it gets into the right hands and somebody in that organization here's what I have to say as a real estate investor who owns over 350 rentals, that's been investing in real estate and rehabilitating communities all over the United States for the last 10 years. They need to hear about this video, and you need to hear about this video if you are investing in real estate, and if you're thinking about investing in real estate. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. And I want to know, what do you think about what the CDC is doing? If you think that they're doing something fishy, if you think what they're doing is all right, if you don't know what they're doing, comment below. So let's get into it. So the CDC is basically entering an executive order to stop landlords from evicting tenants who are not paying rent because of the new Delta variant of COVID-19. So I am not a political figure. I'm not going to talk politics on my channel. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care what the hell you are. I care about personal property rights that affect all U.S. citizens. I know we have a large audience in the UK as well. If you are investing in the United States of America, it's going to infect your investment. Get it? Okay? The CDC is overstepping its bounds. First of all, by them issuing an executive order, where does their power start? We're gonna get into it. So basically, the CDC is saying, you landlord, you can't evict this tenant, okay? They're dealing with COVID-19 or something like that, or COVID-19 doesn't allow them to be evicted. You landlord can't do it. Well, I got news for you. It's called a constitution, brother, sister, whatever. We have constitutional rights. Everybody's got constitutional rights. When the hell did someone say they could take our personal property rights away without an act of Congress? This is not anything but a power grab that is going to affect everybody. And let's look at the whole picture in its entirety, okay? Who does this affect? Tenants get hurt because those tenants are going to be displaced if the properties gets foreclosed on. So the tenant gets hurt. Short term, maybe they get a benefit, right? Maybe they get a small benefit short term. Long term, they're going to be displaced. Families need stability. So that's not good for the tenant. Landlord loses his income. Landlord loses his extra money that he reinvests in the local economy. The city loses that investment, right? Who wins? Who wins? That's where you have to ask yourself. Well, if you haven't paid attention, do you know that when you have a loan, you have something called mortgage insurance? Mortgage insurance is you paying your lender their insurance premium so that if you default on your note, they are made whole, but you are out of everything, okay? So, who benefits? The big bad banks. They benefit, man. Just follow the money, okay? So why would the CDC be allowed to step up and do something like this? Because no one's yanking their chain. So you need to make sure that you write your local legislator, that you write your federal legislator, and you need to stand up to your rights, your constitutional rights. And we're going to talk to you about how this affects you more. So the CDC does have some qualifications that tenants would need to make to qualify, but I'm not going to get into it because I don't want anybody watching this video to benefit from not paying rent. I want people to figure it out. Okay, that's what I tell my kids that make fun of me. Figure it out. People not working hard, people not trying to solve their own issues is not going to get them ahead. It's going to put them further behind. And by us relying on the government, and by landlords relying on the government, and by landlords getting their money from the government, guess what? We're in a new state and it's not the United States. So we're not going to get into the qualifications of what a tenant must do. All I can tell you, there are restrictions that the CDC imposes, so it's not a blanket thing across the board. So basically, they can make up anything. They only need like one qualification out of this long list. They can just qualify for one single thing. So I'm not going to get into how to qualify. That's not what my goal is for this video. My goal is that you take action, that you contact your local legislation, that you contact your federal legislation, you let them know, hey, I don't agree with this, okay? This is not good. This is not setting a good precedent. And let's say you're not a real estate investor, so you maybe don't feel my pain, and believe me, I'm gonna be okay. My money is, by most cases, insured by the government because I do a lot of Section 8 housing, but this is going to kill our economy, our business, your business. It might affect your family's livelihood. It's going to affect cities. The only people who benefit from it are large financial institutions, and nobody's putting the pressure on these guys, right? Nobody's saying, hey, banks, you got to give landlords a break. No, it's saying landlords are the only ones that are going to suck it up. So something's got to give. So it might be noteworthy to mention that, yes, a lot of people lost their jobs and there's a lot of unemployment, but let me tell you something that I know personally and something that's affecting me right now. I just got off the phone and I talked to my guy. As you know, if you haven't checked out our video on my reveal on our new house that we're building in Kansas City, make sure you check this one out right now. And while you're doing that, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss another great video that we're gonna put out. But I was just talking to my concrete guy this morning and I said, hey, how are things going? We're trying to get things scheduled. And he said, man, I got 75 guys. They all are working. They're all busy and I can't hire any more guys because nobody wants to get off the couch. And I said, well, can you blame them? They're getting a $1,000 check. They're getting a $600 check. They're making more money not working than they were working. And most people are gonna take the check. That's the problem. People, in order to go back to work, the jobs are there. We know that because people are behind. So the jobs are there, but what's being replaced? The money is not, right? So there are a lot of people without work, but there are jobs for them. When we open all the way back up, I think pretty much most people are comfortable because I've been to Las Vegas, the Garth Brooks concert, and that place was full. So I think people are generally comfortable, but they're not comfortable breaking laws, breaking rules, breaking ordinances, and generally complying as a good citizen, which we all want to be, okay? We all want to be good citizens. We all want to comply. But the problem is you have constitutional rights and the constitutional rights are being violated. What are my personal thoughts as a landlord, right? Well, my personal thoughts are, thank goodness I have structured my business so much so that I have low debt and I have guaranteed income from the government so that if something tragic happens like this, I will be all right. My personal thoughts for other landlords that don't know how to navigate this landscape is I feel sorry for them. I feel that everybody should sue the government. I feel that everybody should assert their rights here. I feel that anything that affects you as a law that is a federally mandated law that needs to become with an actual constitutional order. You elect your constituents. They represent you as an American citizen. Those rights are being violated. As an American citizen who's lived here my entire life and paid millions of tax dollars, I think that our rights are being trampled on and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I don't agree with it and I think that they need to stop it right now, and I think that the president should squash this and make this go away and say send it to Congress. But I don't make the rules, I just follow them. But I can tell you that when your rights are violated, you have the ability and the duty to assert your rights or they're not your rights anymore. So that's my personal thoughts as a landlord. You guide yourself the way that you feel comfortable, but if somebody's not paying me rent, that's a civil issue, right? So you need to deal with your tenants properly. You need to vet your tenants properly. I believe good tenants will still pay rent. They have a contract, they have a lease. least. If you have got bad tenants who are going to take advantage of this, I would just figure out another way to get them out of there. You know, if you need to pay them to get out, if you need to tell them to get out, however you need to get them out, find someone in there that's going to pay, go rent it to Section 8. You know what? Play the game. That's part of the deal. Figure out a way to get through this, and then whoever voted for this law, if they're in your state, vote them out. Send a message. Hey, you know what? We don't like what you did. You need to stand up for me as a landlord because my tax dollars pay your job. I wouldn't say it like that, but you know what I'm saying. You need to get the message across that, listen, you're a constituent, you care about it, there's lots of tax dollars, your business is being affected, and why aren't you guys standing up for people, and why are you letting this happen? So that's what I think about it. Do I support this CDC order? No, I don't support it at all. Do I think the new CDC memorandum and the COVID-19 and the rental restrictions are gonna affect landlords and restrict the rental market and cause a whole bunch of problems? Absolutely. And unnecessarily. This is more monkeying, this is a power grab, and when you are a citizen of a certain country, you should be able to be predicting the laws and rules of that nation. And when they throw a curveball like this and they say, hey, you know what, we don't care about the laws and the rules, we're making them up as we go, then yeah, I think it's very silly, and I do think it's going to affect a lot of people in a very nasty way, but I think it's blown up very quickly, and I think that there's going to be a lot of heat on the CDC, on the constituents, and I think that you need to bring the heat and you need to bring your voice, write an email, make a phone call, take action, let them know that you don't agree with it and you don't think it's fair, because here's the bottom line. You may say, hey, you know what? This doesn't affect me, I'm not paying for it. Guess what? You are. Someone's paying for the money. The Congress are spending like fools, and it ain't. The politicians are spending freely. It's you. It's the average person out there with their tax dollars, with the price of inflation. It's being passed on to the lowest man on the pole. So you should care, you should take action, and you should do something about it. Comment, like, and follow so that this video goes freaking viral, and then they're gonna hear your opinion by doing that. They're gonna say, you know what, I agree with this guy, and so did a lot of other people. That's why this video went viral. Send it out to everybody. Let them know, hey man, this guy's breathing flames on the CDC. So why don't I think this is fair for both tenants and landlords? Well, because it came out of nowhere. We should be prepared, and we should have the ability as citizens to vote on the laws that are handed down. It doesn't go the other way. This is called a totalitarianship. This is called a king, a dictatorship, whatever you want to call it. We as citizens of this country have the right to vote people to pass laws. There's never been a law passed, so it's definitely not fair for the landlord, and it's definitely not fair for the tenant. The tenant wants predictability too. The tenant wants a place that they know they're gonna live. But if you're giving them options, and their option is saying, hey, I don't gotta pay. Listen, when we were first doing cash for keys, when I was selling houses for the banks from 2008 to 2009 to 2010, 2011, 2012, where I sold almost 2,500 homes in that short period of time, I got a lot of experience. And one thing that I noticed was when people were first being evicted from their house back in 2008, when they were first being evicted, they were so gracious. They would leave the property great. They were thankful for the money. They understood they didn't pay their mortgage. The friends started talking to the friends. They hear about how much money this guy got for his cash for keys, how much this guy got for his cash for keys. At the end of it, in 2012, they were expecting $5,000. They wanted to stay in there for 30 days, and they weren't paying their mortgage for like 4 years. So people are going to take advantage of the system if you let them, and that's what's going to happen here. Good tenants are going to turn into bad tenants. Good landlords are going to turn into bad landlords, and you, the United States citizen or someone investing in the United States, is going to take it on the chin. So make sure that you share this video with a friend so that nobody takes it on the chin. That's all we got for you. Peace.